Alright everyone, welcome back to another episode of All the Mod 6. I hope everyone is doing great today. I know that I am as always. So we are jumping right back into our game save here, and nothing really to catch you guys up on in terms of live streams or anything like that. I did do a teeny bit of off-camera work here, and I'll just run you through it really quick. So if you guys recall in the last episode, we did take a break from the Twilight Forest. I know we had just hopped into it, but I wanted to get some more passive resource production up and going before we spent a whole heck of a lot of time in the Twilight Forest doing exploration and all that stuff, just so we could have, again, resources accumulating over that time period. So we took a step back, we came back to our bees, and we got an elite centrifuge up and going. We did look into the next tier, which is tier 3, which is weird. It wasn't showing up the graphics here on my side. It's behind the camera, you guys can't see it, but on my end, I couldn't see the graphics for these guys. But yeah, these ×4 compressed blocks of gold are going to be very, very hard to get. It takes a lot to get them, and you need 4 of them per each tier, and you do need, I think, 36 in total, because 9, 18, 27, 36, yeah, 36 in totality. Which is 12 instances of this, so 12 times 4 is 48, right? You would need 48 of these ×4 compressed if I'm doing all of my math right. So if we go to compressed here, we would need 48 of these, which, holy smokes, like, that would be almost 3 million gold ingots to get to that point. I don't think we're going to get to it anytime soon. There is no way. We're only at 20,000 right now, and yeah, we have to get really, really high up. So, but we do have our bees producing some, so we do have our gold bees in here, and I did a bit of breeding off camera. That's mainly the work that I did. Some breeding and getting our bees up and going a little bit more. As you can see, there's a whole heck of a lot of them in there right now, and they're all doing their thing. And I tried to double them up where I could, so yeah, not in all of them, not in all case scenarios, but I did do my best. Over here, we have some more as well. I did add an RGB over here, but we got these guys going. I did double up on our wither bees to hopefully allow us to get more nether stars, because that'd be very useful. And then I actually did get a second apiary up and go, or third apiary, not even our second one, our third one up and going over here, because I wanted to be able to put more gold production in here along with withers and so on and so forth. And we've been getting a good amount of nether stars, which is awesome. I mean, we're up to 48 in total, which is pretty cool. And then coming down here, I also went ahead and I switched over our honeycomb from being just imported as normal honeycombs to being switched over to honeycomb blocks. So in here, I have it set up so all of the honeycombs come in here first. At least for the ones that we have, they're changed over to blocks and then shifted over to our centrifuge. And I do have creative importers and exporters on here. They're relatively straightforward to make at this point for us. And then it all flows into here. Now, the reason I would actually recommend, before we head to the Twilight here, the reason that I would recommend doing this is I'm going to show you really quickly. So wither honeycomb blocks. So normal wither honeycombs in general. This is where it kind of comes into play where it's really useful. So normal wither honeycombs in a centrifuge give you a chance of 1% for 1 nether star, right? So it's a 1-to-1 and a 1% chance on that. Now, if you look at the blocks themselves, and you look at them in a centrifuge, it's 1 block. So I guess you're taking 9, right? 9 honeycomb. But you're taking 1 block, and you're having a 1% chance to get 9 nether stars from it. I think overall, it seems like a better chance scenario. Maybe not. But you can have a chance to get 9 all up at one time from it. So maybe the odds are actually relatively the same, but in my eyes, I feel like it's a better perspective going this path. Also, it's better for storage if you do have a lot of honeycomb backlog there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not going to dive too much more into it. There's other things that I do want to do. I do want to get our tiered apiaries even more than what we have it. So get up to tier 3, maybe even tier 4. But that's going to be down the line, another episode, because I did promise we would go back to the Twilight Forest, and that is what we are doing today. I don't go back on my promises here. So we're going to head into the Twilight Forest and try to take on probably one of the first bosses or first enemies that you're going to run into in the Twilight Forest. So let's get in here and let's get going. All right, so I went ahead, I brought our map up here. If you guys are curious on how you get this Twilight Forest map, check out the last episode, well, 2 episodes ago now, the first episode that we put out around the Twilight Forest, I should say, because it'll run through how we got here, how we got situated, and just how you get this map going, which is very, very useful because it shows you all the different mobs or all the different bosses to progress through here in the Twilight Forest. Now, this is going to be an interesting run because really the Twilight Forest, I feel like, is more so meant for semi-early to mid-game, depending on, you know, what you have available to you in terms of resources. And we're definitely closer to end game, that is for sure. So it'll be interesting to take on some of these mobs here. So the first one we're going to go for is the Naga, and this is his maze here. And I feel like this has been updated a little bit. Like, I feel like there's a lot more foliage in here than what had been in previous versions. So really, this is going to be the first guy that you encounter. When you come up onto this place, it's going to look like this. And you can kind of see it on the minimap there, where it's you got a lot of outlines to it. And there's different ways that you can get in. I mean, you could just tunnel your way in like so, or if you have some kind of flight, you can obviously get up and over. Now, these are Naga Stones, so these are very useful if you want to use them for decorative blocks in your own buildings, whatever it may be, and this offers a lot of it. Now, it also does offer just normal cobblestone, so another great resource location for blocks for your setup. And there we go, the Naga has spawned in. I guess what we'll try to do is not use flight. Let's try not to use flight so we can make this fight as fair as possible. Yeah, we do have a lot of Twilight Oak log or trees that spawned in here. So what this guy does is he is a giant snake that comes around, and obviously you just want to defeat him. Now, the best way to go about it mid to early game is with ranged attacks. Now, however, we are a little bit more advanced than that, and there he is coming at us. I don't know. Can we get a cool shot of him here? I think we might have been able to pick up a cool shot of him there. But it's actually kind of funny because he's not attacking us because of the armor that we have on currently. The armor that we have on kind of nullifies a lot of enemies. Holy smokes, he's really just destroying everything. He does destroy a lot of blocks in here as he moves around. I'm gonna go against what I said. I'm actually gonna fly around, try to take him on. Did we really one-hit him? We definitely one-hit him. That is kind of hilarious that we were able to one-hit the Naga right off the bat. But you can see our inventory is just getting swamped with stuff because he breaks blocks. He moves around, he comes after you, and he breaks a lot of blocks in the process. Now, again, we do have our magnet on, which is kind of aiding in that. I don't know why these aren't stacking together, which is kind of aiding in us collecting a lot of these items. But this is going to be your first guy that you take on, and you do get a nice trophy from it, a cool head. That is a very high textured head. Wow, okay. I'm actually very surprised. I didn't anticipate it being that high of a texture for that trophy. Now, you are going to get these Naga scales. You know what? I don't think there's like a guidebook for the Twilight Forest. If we take a peek here, we could look for like book. You have enchanting books, but there's nothing really to help. At least I don't think so. Nothing that I recall offhand. Now, the one thing you can do is I think you can come into here and into the normal Minecraft quest lines. And I believe I went over this in the last week, or in the last episode we did on the Twilight Forest. You can come in here and kind of guide along these different quests within here. It kind of lays out a good path for you to go. So we've done a decent amount of things here. We've done the map and everything like that. We could also actually get the maze map after obtaining the focus from the labyrinth. That is another boss that we're going to get to, and another piece that we will get eventually here. But as you can see, we started here, and this is the main tier of branch off. This is really what allows you to progress forward, is this tier here, coming through the silence of the forest. And then for us, we headed down to time to even the scales. So we slayed the Naga in its forest courtyard and obtained a Naga scale to overcome the barrier magic surrounding the Lynch's tower. So that's where we're going to head next, is the Lynch's tower. But you can also craft up both Naga chest plate and armor and leg armor. But unfortunately for us, well, we don't have a transmitter in range. And that's one of the downsides, is we've gotten so accustomed to being able to just pop open our inventory like that, that it's a little bit of a bummer when we can't do it as easily. But there we go. You make it in the same way you would make any other armor in the game. So you start with our leggings there, and it doesn't look like we're going to have enough for a chest plate, and we're definitely going to want to. Now, I know I picked up a scale here from our previous excursions, along with a few other things, but I do believe there is another Naga relatively close by, so let's head in that direction. Holy smoke, we just picked up a whole heck of a lot of stuff. This magnet is very, very strong. But let's head over to this other Naga here, and let's take him on and get some more scales as well. What is that purple light? Is that our portal? I think that is our portal. Okay. Here is another maze. We took one of these on as well in our first Twilight episode, 2 episodes ago. They're very straightforward, and if you're interested in checking that out, you know, go back and watch that video here. But we're gonna go take on another Naga here and get some more scales. All right, guys. So I took out another Naga, and I was able to get our armor up and going. As you see, we have our scale leggings and our Naga scale tunic. It's not even a chest plate; it is a tunic. But these will actually allow us to progress, and we did get the progression here for crafting both of these up. Obviously, you don't get any rewards from it, but you do get the achievement for it. Again, kind of helping guide you through the Twilight Forest. That's why I like at least having something, either the Minecraft designed quests like this one, or achievements, I guess is more so what they are for the Minecraft ones, or an in-game quest line or book or guidebook, because there's a lot of mods in here that either, you know, maybe people aren't familiar with, or, you know, since they're updated to a new version, 1.16, there's a lot of new stuff to it that, you know, obviously people want to explore and understand. I guess half of the fun is being able to just kind of explore without having your hand held through the whole process. But there's other things that, you know, most people probably wouldn't even know unless they kind of did some research or saw other people looking into it as well. But anyway, so we have what we need. So now we can move on to the Twilight Lynch. This is the next boss you're going to take on in your progression through the Twilight Forest. So we need to slay the Twilight Lynch at the top of his tower and retrieve a scepter to clear poisonous mosquitoes from the swamp. See through blinding darkness of the dark forest's curse and resist the snowy forest's chill. Plus, kill Naga times 6 remaining. I think we need to kill more Nagas, I guess, then, which is very interesting. It says times 6. We'll have to see. We'll take on the Lynch here. The Lich. The Lynch. I keep putting an N in there. It's not that. It's a Lich, right? L-I-C-H. Lich. That's a whole different thing. Anyway, so we got to take on the Lich at the top of the tower here, and with our armor we should be able to get in there. So let's head over here. This is the tower right by our portal here, and normally we wouldn't be able to get in here, but because we have the armor, because we did that progression, it allows us to get in. Now you do want to be careful, because as you see right off the bat, there are silverfish. There's also a lot of other mobs in here as well, so just take your time and be careful. Again, if you're mid to early game, this is not going to be an easy progression. But we are in, and you can see right off the bat, we got some bookcases here. I am actually going to spend time doing this. I don't want to rush through the Twilight Forest. I think it would be really fun to, you know, spend some time here. So that's what we're going to try to do. Maybe we'll do you know, 1 to 2 bosses per video. We'll get some lights placed in here. The lighting tool, again, coming in clutch. I highly recommend it if you guys don't have it. Unlimited durability, unlimited lights. It's really, really, really worthwhile. And we have a new child born in our colony back home. Well, that's something good to know. Just taking out a bunch of these mobs here. But yeah, this lighting tool is extremely useful. Now, obviously, it only does so much against situations like these where you have a spawner. I mean, it still helps, but it's you know, it has its limitations with what all it's actually going to do in terms of preventing mobs. Now, this is going to be really probably the death of us here in terms of timing, because we have to sort through a bunch of junk that we're ultimately going to be picking up. Now, really, for us, we don't need most of this stuff. We really don't need it. But there are a few things I don't mind grabbing. Again, these bookshelves, awesome finds. Awesome to get these bookshelves, so then you don't have to craft them yourselves. Now, do keep in mind, if you want to keep the bookshelves intact, you do need to use Silk Touch of some kind. Otherwise, you're just going to get normal books in return, which is not the worst case scenario, but just a good point to keep in mind. All right, we got all those bookshelves. Holy smokes, there's a whole bunch of bookshelves up here too. And I believe going through here, you can also find a decent amount of loot, which again, that's what we're going to be on the eye out for, is interesting loot. Not like just normal stuff you would get from everyday mobs. We want the cool stuff. So we already have a chest right here. What do we got? Fire protection, soulbound, and then just some more books. Nothing too crazy, so we're just going to leave it alone. We do want to mind our space, obviously. We don't want to utilize all of our space for things we don't necessarily need. Okay, so we did that way. I believe we did that way. We're already hearing some birds through here. These guys really don't care if we're here or not. I'm not going to take time and go up that way. What do we got this way? We do have something interesting here, an interesting way to go. Let's go up here and see if we have any chests. Doesn't look to be the case. All right, so we're going to keep progressing then. And we do have some mushrooms in here. Great place to pick up some mushrooms if you do need some. All right, so up the tower we go, placing lights anywhere we can. And trying not to fall through. You do want to be careful as you progress up through here. There are these cool little side areas that you can go with, and there's actually technically two different staircases you can take. As you see, we have the smooth stone staircase and then the birchwood staircase over there. And each will offer their own little side areas that you can go and explore. Most of them aren't really going to have too much for you to get or anything like that. More just so from aesthetic purposes, but still cool nonetheless. All right, we do have a spawner in there. Nothing too crazy. And look at that. We're already pretty much at the top of the tower. Relatively short timing to get to this point. And I'm just trying to get some lights thrown down all through this tower, just so we don't have too many mob spawns in general. And I think we're pretty good. I think we are pretty solid. I'm actually going to jump over to the birchwood one. And we do actually have then another side area here that's offering a little bit more for us to explore. Oh, actually a decent amount for us to explore. Ultimately, not really resulting in too much for us. Actually, this one leads outside to a secondary tower. This is the stuff that you want to try to take on. This is the stuff that you want to get up to and try to see what is in these chests. We have potions of swiftness, ender disruption, like not too shabby. Again, if you're, relatively early to mid in your game, just find some really good stuff here. But for us, I mean, we don't really need it. Okay, we have another path here to lead into another area up. And ultimately, another way this way. I'm guessing we'll have another chest up here. Actually, no chest, and you will run into that from time to time. It is a gamble. You never know what you're going to run into. We do have another way this direction. See what we got here. Any chest? No, just some random bookshelves. Okay. And then taking us outside. As you can see here, this is the overall castle, and all these sideways offer possible opportunities for you to find things. And for us, obviously, since we have flight, it's very easy for us to just fly around and see what we want. I mean, heck, I didn't even have to go up the way that I did. I honestly could have just flown right to the top and taken on the Lich right there, but I didn't. I do want to, obviously enjoy our progression through here. Is there anything in there? Nothing. Just an empty flower pot. And I think some of these areas might not even be accessible unless you do fly or you bridge over to them, if I'm not mistaken. Like this area over here. Let's see if we can connect back into the main area. Because it's not really looking like we can. Yeah, it doesn't really look like this connects into the main area in any way. You can go out that way. We've come down here. That leads to there. Come out this way. And then typically you would probably lead back that direction, but it does not. So you really would have to kind of start breaking some walls to try to get over here, because I'm not seeing a way back through. Now, obviously, we could just, break our way in somewhere like we did just there. Indestructibility. Okay, that's definitely something we're going to want to take with us because that's a great enchant to pull off of that tool there. If you ever find a tool with indestructibility on it, I highly recommend just grabbing it so you can at least attempt to pull the enchantment off of it. And I think actually this actually might lead us back into the main area here, but probably from a lower perspective. It's going to probably pull us down just a teeny bit here. Wow, it's very easy to get lost in all this. Holy smokes. Okay, I don't really feel like going all the way up to the top. So let's just keep moving here. Back out, and yeah, here we go. So we are back out in the main area. So let's go take on the Lich here. We shouldn't have a problem, honestly. I mean, we one-hit the Naga, so I'm guessing it's going to be relatively the same for this guy. But you do need, it's a little bit more tricky. You need to hit Ender Pearls back at them. At least that's how it was in the previous version, in the 1.12 version. But we're going to see how this one goes. Oh, okay. I don't know which one's going to fire Ender Pearls at us. But we need to hit the Ender Pearls and hit them back. Very anticlimactic fight, I would say. I don't know which one's gonna fire. Yeah, very anticlimactic fight. So I think it's the main guy right there. Extremely anticlimactic fight. Alright, come on. So yeah, he fires Ender Pearls every so often, just like so. And you want to hit them back to them. That's kind of the main goal here. And then once you hit them back, it'll obviously decrease their overall health. Alright, so you can hit him. He moves away. And there we go. We were able to actually hit one back at him. And it was able to do some damage there. Literally the slowest fight I think I've ever been in. It does make it a little bit more challenging if you are end game, because obviously you need to take your time. But if you are just like, you know, early on in your gameplay, definitely a little bit harder. Okay, these other two might fire some at us, so let's be prepared here. You guys gonna fire anything at us? No? Alright. Well, I guess I'll keep fighting them. I'll burn them down in some more health, and I'll bring you guys back once we are pretty much close to taking them out. Alright, I think I've gotten a pattern down on how he works. So, he'll fire a projectile at you, and then you have to do some damage to him. He'll move, and then he'll fire another one. Now, any of those that are on fire, you cannot hit back. They just explode. And if you hit them, they explode and do damage to you. So you really just want to ignore the ones that are on fire. Now, if you get one that has an Ender Pearl in it, that's the one you want. And unfortunately, we messed that one up. He's probably going to fire some fire projectiles at us. Oh, nope, we actually did get him. And there we go. So now he's just in his normal mode, and we can take him out just like so. And we have so much stuff in our inventory right now. It's not even funny. We got a bunch of swords, golden swords, which I'm actually going to hold on to. I found a machine that can actually be very useful for breaking down a lot of this stuff. And that's kind of my plan for a lot of it. And let's get rid of all the... Why is that not stacking with that? Very interesting. Okay, well, we're going to get rid of both of those. I don't know why I've had such weird problems with things stacking properly. And I think the other thing we probably should do, take all these bookshelves and throw them into our dank here, so they just store up. But we did get the scepter that we wanted, the zombie scepter, I believe. This is what we wanted, if I'm not mistaken. Let's take a look here. So we did take it on, and we did get the scepter to clear poisonous mosquitoes from the swamp. I believe this is what we want here. Now let's take a look at its use case scenario. So you can recharge it, which is awesome. It does have durability to it, which is a little bit unfortunate. You can make it indestructible, but I don't know how that works with use cases. That's the one thing I'm not sure. Everything that I've seen where it has uses on it and it doesn't necessarily break, it'll go through those uses and then you do need to recharge them. So I'm guessing indestructibility wouldn't be too great of an addition on this, but that is going to do it for the Lich and his tower. I don't think there's really much else for us to see here. And we could take a peek around. There's some good blocks there. Again, building resources galore. If you need some building resources, this is a great place to come and get things, especially bookshelves. I mean, look at all these bookshelves. It's just insane. Even if you don't have Silk Touch, even if you could just pick up the books on their own, very, very useful, so you don't have to be the one trying to make all the books. Now, what do we got here? What is this? A potion of regen. Not too bad, but nothing too crazy there. Let's hop outside. We got a bunch of books here. But anyways, guys, so that is going to do it. We're just standing in midair. Now, let's turn around here. That's going to do it for today's episode. I hope you all enjoyed it. A little bit shorter than normal, but that's probably how it's going to be. I'm trying to cut back just a teeny bit and cut some of the fat out of it where possible. And I feel like this is a good ending point for today's episode. So anyways, thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, definitely leave a like down below. Better yet, leave a comment. I love reading through all your guys' comments. If you are new here, definitely hit that subscribe button and bell notification. I'll let you know every single time a new episode is posted here on the channel. I do stream over on Twitch. Currently, we are playing All the Mod 6. Actually, this game save specifically. Typically, we do more building and just kind of tedious work over there. It's really chill time, honestly, more than anything. So if you feel like kicking back, relaxing, and hanging out with us, link for the Twitch is down in the description below, along with the link to our community Discord, which is open to anyone. I do post updates for the channel and Twitch over there, so you could check that out down below. Obviously, we just ask that you are, respectful and polite if you do decide to join in. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I appreciate it so very much, and I will catch you all in the next episode. Take it easy.